In the mid-1960s, while bands like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones were taking America by storm, the Kinks were abruptly shut out. Banned from the US for years, their absence reshaped their career and their music. But what really happened, and how did they turn exile into innovation? Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about the US 1965 tour with the Kinks and why they ended up getting banned from America because of it. It's a tale full of chaos that starts before they went and until afterwards, when they reshaped their career entirely after the result that they couldn't go back to America. So just stay tuned, we'll do it chronologically and we'll see how everything goes. So basically, Kinks got off to a running start. They formed in 1963 in London and they comprised of a four-piece. So you've got Ray Davies, Dave Davis, Mick Avery and Pete Quaife on bass. Ray was primarily the songwriter and they've released their debut single, You Really Got Me, and it went to #1 in the UK and #7 in the US. So for all accounts, they were poised and ready to take over the US. The thing was, there was always tension in the band. The Kinks were a part of the British invasion. First wave comprised of just the Beatles, who came over and shocked the world when they took America by storm. Then the second wave included bands like the Rolling Stones and the Yardbirds, who were looking to capitalise on some of the success that the Beatles had had in America at that point. By the time 1965 rolled round, they had a couple more hits under their belt, such as Tired of Waiting for You and All Day and All of the Night. All these were big successes over in America, so they were ready to take the country by storm. Despite all this, and a little bit different to the Beatles, they were known for their harsh rock sound and their rebellious attitude. During the live performance in Cardiff, Dave turned to Mick and asked him if he would not be better hitting it with his cock, as it would probably sound better. Mick instantly reacted and threw a snare drum at him, which ended up with Dave being hospitalised and the gig being cancelled. As a result of this, tensions in the band were really high and the final 4 UK dates were cancelled. Management of the band, knowing that their US tour was about to go ahead, pressured them to push down their emotions and to get along with each other so that it would not affect their America success. So the US tour took place between June the 18th and July the 10th. They originally went over there in February 1965 in order to sign some documents for them and appear on a TV show called Hullabaloo. And over there, Ray fell out with the union officials because he found that some of the documents weren't worth signing. So the plan for them was to go over there and capitalise on their growing success, but they were going to be part of a package deal. So this included going out with bands like Sonny and Cher, Beach Boys, the Supremes. Some of the challenges that they faced over there immediately was the poor organisation, lack of promotion and low ticket sales. I'll normally blame for the lack of advertisement. So let's start on some of the key dates. On June the 18th, at the Academy of Music in New York City, this was supposed to be the opening show, but the marquee mistakenly read The Kings instead, which annoyed the band. And tensions also broke out backstage over the placement of the billings. The next night, they played Philadelphia Convention Hall, and venue staff displayed hostility towards the band, and it reflected American scepticism of the British bands at that point. Not all America was convinced that British bands were as good as they were supposed to be. On June 20th, they played Peoria in Exposition Gardens, but there were no major incidents, but the band were beginning to show signs of fatigue. On June 21st, they played Aria Crown Theatre in Chicago. Fans rushed to the stage and it required police intervention, similar to what we saw during Beatlemania. On June 22nd, they played Kinter Gymnasium in Decatur. It was hastily added to replace a cancelled show, but it was poorly attended due to the lack of promotion. The next night they played Illinois State Armory in Springfield, which was crazily organised by John Wayne Gacy before his crimes were known. The next night, June 24th, they played Denver Auditorium Arena. A faulty sound system disrupted the performance, but chaotic management worsened the band's frustration. Now we move on to the gigs that were organised by Betty Kay, and they definitely led to some anger within the band. So at the Centennial Coliseum on June 25th in Reno, poor advertising led to low attendance. A payment dispute shortened the set to just 20 minutes, where they played a very long rendition of You Really Got Me. In June 26, in Memorial Auditorium in Sacramento, promoter Betty Kay underpaid the band, escalating tensions between the band and the tour organisers as a result. On June the 27th, at Stockton Memorial Civic Auditorium, the show was cancelled due to poor ticket sales. Again, the band further frustrated with Betty Kay for not properly promoting the tour. On July the 2nd, they appeared on television on Dick Clark's Where the Action Is. A staff member insulted the band, accusing them of being late and making anti-British remarks. Dave recalled this in his autobiography. Some guy who said he worked for the TV company walked up and accused us of being late. Then he started making anti-British comments. Things like, just because the Beatles did it, every mop-topped, spotty-faced, limey juvenile thinks he can come over here and make a career for himself. You're just a bunch of comic wimps. Davis continued. When the Russians take over Britain, don't expect us to come over and save you this time. The Kinks, huh? Well, once I file my report on you guys, you'll never work in the USA again. You're gonna find out just how powerful America is, you limey bastard. The rest is a blur. However, I do recall being pushed and swinging a punch and being punched back. So this is the kind of thing that seemed to follow the Kinks around no matter where they went. The next night, on July the 3rd, they performed alongside the Beach Boys at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles. Ray Davies actually threatened not to perform unless his wife, Razor, was flown out to meet him, and she arrived just after the show finished. The next night, on July the 4th, at Cow Palace Daly City, the show was cancelled due to promoter disputes over the payment. I believe it was something to do with they were offered a cheque, but the band wanted cash up front. 2 days later, they flew out to Hawaii in Honolulu International Centre, and they played 2 shows, one including for the US Army troops. Ray Davies actually really enjoyed Hawaii and said it was the best holiday he'd ever had. The last 2 shows went off with relative calm and ease. Spokane Coliseum and Seattle Center Coliseum. There were several issues throughout the whole tour. So we've got the persistent issues with the American Federation of Musicians, disputes with promoters including Better Kay over payments and lack of promotion, teenage fans frequently causing security concerns, including times where they smashed the car window and mobbed the band. The band was banned from America until 1969 because of union conflicts and unprofessional behaviour. Because they weren't able to tour the US, Ray decided to turn his music inward. It was a shame really, because the Kinks could really have capitalised on that American popularity like bands like The Who, Rolling Stones and the Beatles were. When they did return in 1969, Ray didn't recognise America anymore. It had moved on a lot from what he was used to and was now approaching the Woodstock hippie era, which he didn't feel a part of. His next few albums, Face to Face, Something Else, and eventually the Village Green Preservation Society, all channeled an English style of songwriting, which the Kinks became very unique for. This is a quote from Ray Davies that I just want to finish with. That tour showed me that who we were as a band. Messy, chaotic, but uncompromising. It pushed me to create music that was unapologetically ours. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Only a really short one today, just a little bit of a description of what actually happened on the US tour. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below, like and subscribe, and any other topics, any music, film, crazy celebrity stories, anything like that you'd like me to cover, just leave them down below in the comments and I will get to them. So thanks very much, cheers, have a nice night.